All right, welcome. If you are there, we are here. I told you earlier what was going to be happening here. Those that listen to the radio. It's a special project for James Wood Flomo. We are just here to support the guy. So if you are there, we are here. We are live on Stone FM 107.5, Fabric 101.1. We're also live on Phone TV, Fabric TV, Super TV. Follow us, be a part of the discussion. Okay, the host himself is here. The man is on a special project. He is concerned about school going kids in our country. Yeah, I'm also concerned about that. That is why I'm just, acting like I want Isha fly, sticking myself in the whole discussion here. James, how are you?
I'm okay. What about you? How you doing?
I'm good too. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm trying to talk to the deputy minister. I'm okay. So just give me 2 minutes. I will be right back.
Okay. So, if you are there, we are here. We'd like to say welcome, welcome. This is Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1. He's also bringing in Deputy Minister of Education. His name is Frederick S. Cooper.
No, not education.
Gender.
Gender. Yeah.
All right. General Ministry, Frederick S. Cooper. They are going to be telling us, I remember the president of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Newman Boaka, launched this one chair, one child campaign where, the focus has been on moving children from the streets during school going hours. And so this is James' project. He wants to discuss it. We're here on Saturday with Mr. Nen, a young man who has been going to the communities and, taking children from the streets, making sure they get back to school. So, James, it's over to you.
Yes. Good. Good evening from my end, and good afternoon to you in Liberia. Well, folks, we are happy to be back today. This is the second time we coming on here to talk about this program. Specifically, this is a program that I'm expected to continue after graduation in the coming weeks or months. I might continue with it, and it's specifically about creating awareness on out of school kids in Liberia. As you may be aware, there are many children in Liberia who are in the streets selling. Some are moving between cars, between bags, and so forth. So, this program is intended to create an awareness to speak to the actors who are responsible to get these kids from the street and send them back to school, and to also create awareness for the communities, to tell community leaders and parents that we need to keep these children in school, because if they are not educated tomorrow, that Liberia would be the one to feel the pain when we are no more. So I am a student of Visha University here in Warsaw, and this is my project. We were asked to talk about issues, and I decided to look back home and create awareness on out of school kids that are not in school but selling in the streets. So coming on today is Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Gender. He's going to be coming here today to tell us more about the ministry's plan regarding getting children from the streets. I'm told they have been working already because they are responsible for this project in Liberia to get kids from the street. We did not go to the Ministry of Education because we have a specific ministry that is responsible to deal with this matter. So Deputy Minister Cooper will be coming on today along with Alex Divan, Ellis Divan Senior. They will be coming on here today to talk to us. Ellis Divan Senior is from the institution called Street Children Project. Okay, so he's going to be coming here to tell us more about what they have been doing and to help create awareness also for the communities in Liberia. Now, this is not just a Monrovia-based program because we are aware that there are people who are out of Monrovia currently listening to us. So listen and be with us as we welcome Deputy Minister Cooper, who will come and tell us exactly what they are doing to get your kids from the street. I know you have been seeing them in the street every day. So, yes, that is the intro, Lauren, while we await the minister to come on. The minister is already in the back. We will just bring him on later. We await Mr. Divine to also get in studio. As soon as he gets in studio, we will bring him on. So, Laurie, what's
Yeah.
happening in Liberia today?
Yeah, Liberia is here, James, and of course, just this particular topic that you are discussing is still happening. There are kids out of school right now as we speak. They are in the streets. They are between cars, trekking and selling. Yeah, and there are kids all in the communities that are just home playing, when their friends are going to school. This is something some of them have accepted. And some parents and guardians, some of those that, did this TRP trafficking in person, they went, collected these kids, brought them to Montserrat County, Monrovia. Monrovia jeans for
Mhm.
other county is from other when you go to other countries and you say you're bringing children to Moreover, it's like you're taking them to Europe or America. You understand? So all the family people expect is that those children are going to get a brighter future once you bring them to Morovia. And that is the trick most of them use. Oh, I will carry your children in town so that I can send them to school. You understand? But then when they come to town, they become the breadwinners. And then for those families to come from all the way in those villages, all the way from Gigliata or West Eshuata, I don't even know if it is a name, but they have some big, big villages down there. To come back to Montserrat to locate their children is difficult. So those kids, their future is just something else. So, this conversation is very, very important, especially for our kids and creating awareness all of the time. We are glad that you chose that. You could have just sway, gone to the biggest business in Liberia, politics,
Oh.
where you can see the
so
attention to this
politics, so
human.
politics is the biggest business in Liberia.
Yeah, well, the biggest market, the juiciest market in the country. In the country,
I,
yeah.
I,
So,
I wish to join our business one day.
mhm. But at the same time, you know, human interest is very important. So we hope to see that Minister Cooper comes on. And we are also hoping that, by now, Mr. Nen, who was here with you on Saturday, would have gotten some information or maybe some help, because he wants to put more kids in school. School will be closing in July. You
Yeah,
understand? And it
yeah.
opens September. And even there are vacation schools that children could go to, So we are hoping that he will touch all of those points so we understand. Alex Divine,
Yes,
when he
Ellis Divine will be coming out very shortly. He said he will be joining us in a few minutes. So, yes, no, yeah, yeah, go ahead, Coco.
Alex Divine was moving with the general minister during that one child campaign. I was with them that day. I saw him, I saw how interested he was. So it's a good thing to have him here. Let's hear his own progress, some of the challenges. I know he must be going through some challenges. And yeah, you say you're not breaking in the Ministry of Education, but they should be here to answer some questions. You
Yeah, we
understand?
will talk. We will talk to them, but basically, let's get to know what the people who are responsible to get these kids from the street. What are they doing? What are their plans? Let's be frank. This is becoming unusual in Liberia, and in our Liberian setting, we just believe that it is usual thing that we should have kids in the street selling. If you walk on Broad Street now, even if you get on the Tottenham Boulevard, you're going to see kids with market. They are selling everywhere. Every part of Monrovia you go to Kakata, the same. You go to Banga, the same. You go to Sanikole, Ganta. You go to Vanjama. You go to Harper. You go to Tottenham Burr, you're going to see children everywhere. So it's not just limited to the capital, it's also out of the capital. So let the government tell us exactly what are their plans, because we cannot keep seeing these children in the street selling, and they are not going to school. Only very few going to school, or those who are going to school at the end of the day, some are not even graduates. They will also end up in the street, and when they come from school, uh, some of them, they do not even study. As soon as they come from school, they jump straight in the streets to sell again. What government doing? So let the Ministry of Gender come and tell us. They cannot just be a ministry of court suit. Let them tell us exactly what they are doing to work with these children and their parents or guardians to get them off the street. We want to see a street that will be free from kids, a street that will be free of kids, where we don't have kids selling everywhere. And let kids come from school, sit home, rest, eat, play, and study. That's what we want to see. So let's bring the minister on while Alex is joining us. I think the last time I was in Liberia, Alex was involved with that question. Yeah, I think something like that. No, debate. Question or debate. Between that, I saw him. That's one of the things that he used to be
Yeah,
involved
yeah.
with. I think
He's
quizzing or
also an
debate.
actor. He's also an actor. He's
Mm,
into the movie business as well.
okay.
And then at the
So
same time, he's an
So
event.
as soon as we see Minister Frederick S. Cooper, who is the Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Gender in the
Yeah,
back, he's now previously there. Let's bring the minister on. So Liberian people, parents, listening to us as we bring our guests on. And Alex, okay, when we get Alex on.
sorry.
Whew, okay, I think it was from me. Um, Good afternoon, Honorable Minister.
Good afternoon, James. It's good to be here.
Yeah,
Am I, yes,
are
am I
you?
clear?
Yes, I think you are clear.
Okay.
Yeah, he's clear. He's clear.
You are. So,
It's good to be here
Minister,
again.
I'm okay. Today is Tuesday. It's a busy working day. So, how is the ministry? I'm seeing you. I think you are staying in the ministry, right? You are staying in your office.
Yes, I'm still in office. I'm supposed to be at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. As you may know, there is this non-permanent seat voting that has ended, but there are some things happening in the back. So I'm supposed to be there, but unfortunately, we have to serve our country in so many capacity, and this is obviously important. It has to do with the ministry, so we have to let go that of the minister and other members of the team are there, and we are here to answer all of the hard questions as it relates to uh, the street chat project that is named and start Save the Future project.
Okay. So, okay. Thank you, Honorable Divan. How are you, Chief Alex?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, James, for having me.
Okay. I'm told you are from the program Name a Star Street Kids or Street Children. How is your agency?
Yeah, the project
Yeah, the name of the
the
project.
project's name is yeah, it was titled the National Street Children Project, but then
Okay.
with the subtitle called Support a Child, Save the Future. But just last week there was a meeting here about all of our ministers, and because of the connotation of street child, so we changed the name now to Save the Future, support the future.
Okay, support the future. Okay, basically, we are here to talk about uh, this issue. As you may be aware, Divan, I think the last time I saw you, you were involved with almost similar activities going from county to county. Uh, let's basically get to the point. This program that we are on today, we want to talk about kids that are in the street. If you have been to Monrovia, Banga, Kakata, Bikena, you're going to see children everywhere in the streets selling. So, Minister, we brought you here exactly to tell us what the government is doing. Two administrations, we saw efforts being made. By the end of the day, these efforts were not utilized. and we still see these children in the street today. Some are now grew up men and women. We are still seeing the younger ones joining them again today in the street. So, Minister, what is the program, or do we have a program in Liberia to get rid of this pandemic that we have in our country?
So, James, thank you for the question.
Mhm.
Before we can do a deep dive in this whole street chat project, I would like for us to, go from the genesis,
Okay.
to give you a perspective of how and why we have this program. Like you rightly stated, our kids are all in the street, especially so in street situations. And when we took over, this was one of the things the president, talk about so much. I recall even before his presidency, we've had a couple of conversations when he was at the foundation, his foundation. He spoke about whenever he's driving, see those kids in the street, it hurts him a lot. And I mean, one day there will be some, solution to that. Unfortunately, when he won the election, and we got uh, assigned here at the Ministry of Gender, we met a whole lot of project here, but we thought this project is dear to the heart of the president, and it was an imperative that we take on this project. So we had to do a thorough background of what we want to do, and we did that. And this project was captured in the government budget, and immediately the first phase of this entire project started, and it is a multi-sectoral project, meaning that we have other line ministries and agencies that are part and parcel of this program, and namely we have the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Justice, and the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection, and coupled with some of our partners that are supporting, this project. And I recall the president, in his own goodwill, donated a sum of $15,000 US cash that we use, to initiate this project. And by the leadership of the minister, Honorable Gwemi Horace Colley, uh, Divan, who happens to be the project lead, and his team have successfully completed the first phase of this project. And we are having discussion on around the implementation of the second phase. And there is already a budgetary appropriation being done in the national budget for the second phase, and all of the documentation has been submitted to the Ministry of Finance. And as we go deeper into this conversation, I know we'll be telling you progress, achievement as it relates to this project. So I think we've done significantly well as a ministry, given the short time, 1 year, 6 months that we spent here. So I would like to take you, to some of the statistics uh, as it relates to the program,
Okay.
and I will be buttressed by Alex, who happens to be the lead on this program. Approximately, we are talking about 300,000 plus children who are in street situations. And our first phase targeted Moxorado and Ace Environ. So currently, we identified about 5,479 children that have been removed from the street and have been reunified with their parents. And out of this, the target actually was 7,689 children. And out of this amount, we've removed and we reunified 5,479, which constitutes 71.25% of the children. So currently, that's what we've done. Again, there are statistics that will be, going deep down into as we proceed with this conversation. But
Yes.
it's good to set the basis.
Yeah. So before we move to Alex, which part of Maserati did you remove those 5,000 plus children?
So we started with the suburb of Logantown, Douala. I mean, the outskirts of Monrovia. Yeah, those basic places is where this entire, first phase of the project started. But Alex will be, giving you more detail on the locales.
Okay, so okay, let's go to Alex. Alex, the minister just informed us that about 5,000 plus kids were removed from the street, and you are the lead project coordinator. So, can you tell us how this process is done? Where are these children, and what are the mechanisms put in place to maintain the 5,000 from not getting back in the streets? What are the communities, the targeted communities specifically that these children were picked up from? Are you hearing
James?
us? Yeah, are you hearing us?
Alex, Alex, check your microphone, please.
Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, the question is the minister told us that about 5,000 kids were removed from the street, and you are the lead coordinator for this project. So we are asking which communities or what are the communities in Maserado or Liberia that you targeted? Yeah, I think he has a network problem.
You asking about the targeted area in Montserrat County that
Y-
remove these children? Is that the question?
Yes, yes, yes.
Alex, are you there?
I think his network is giving him problem.
Yeah.
Alex? Okay, Minister, I think Alex has network problem. Can you bring us up to speed? I know you have records on these things. What are the communities that you were able to get these children from? Okay. We hope to we hope to have both the minister and Alex back. Yeah, Laurie.
So, so, uh,
Mhm.
So, like I rightly stated to you, the first phase targeted children within the neighborhood of the Logantown community, the Douala community, and the suburb area within Monrovia. And currently, the second phase that is about to kick up anytime soon will focus from the Broad Street area to the Pinsville belt and specifically the highway section. So that's what the second phase will be looking at. But currently, the first phase that just got concluded targeted local areas like Douala, the West Point, the suburb area within Monrovia, James.
Okay, so let do you just get these children and send them to school and that's all? Tell us what are the programs that come after getting them off the street to maintain it. We're looking at maintenance.
So this program is correctly structured and laid out in a way that the execution of it is clearly spelled. So we have our team that work closely with the community leadership and the kids of these children. So we identify these children in blocks, in zone, and we reach out to their parents. Once we identify who their parents are, we have discussion with them, meaning the team have a discussion with them. After having meaningful discussion and outreach with the parents, schools are identified. And once schools are identified, we go in, pay the school fees, and ensure that the children are back in school. We issue them school kits, and that is done closely with UNICEF. We issue them school kit, and after that, we give additional funding for sustainability for their parents. So it is an entire structure, or layout of an activities on the project.
Okay. All right. Alex, are you getting us now?
Yes, I'm clear now. I'm okay now.
Okay, thank you. So, Alex, the minister told us, I guess you were following, and he told us that about 5,000 kids have been removed from the street during the first phase. So, the question is, as a project lead coordinator, what are the mechanisms that you have put in place? When you do a project, sometimes you have to do evaluation, monitoring and evaluation. So, since these 5,000 kids were removed from the street, what have been some of the results so far? How do you go about with
Okay,
the
so
maintenance? Mhm.
thank you. First of all, I'd like to just jump in from the where the minister started from. I'd like to also mention to you that the street children project is designed with different thematic areas. So the project is into few areas. We're doing what we call family tracing and reunification. We're also doing what we call academic enrollment. Also, we have the economic empowerment and one-off grant. And then the last is the TVEC initiative. So these are the four pillars that the project is structured into. So when you heard the minister talk about 5,000 plus has been removed, that's under the pillar one, which is the family tracing and reunification. So the project captures in a way that we have to train social workers, and social worker will be deployed and dispatched across Mossorado County, and they will go across the zones to also be to do what we call the reunification, the family tracing. So we can see the child in between the vehicle or probably in the community, if for different reasons, and we follow the child to the home or follow the child to whatever it is that they are connected to, and we ought to trace that family and we ought to connect and reunite them with the relative or whoever it is. So yes, the minister is right that the data that are shown currently over the first half of the pilot phase that the project has gone through, we've been able to reach and removed
It's not working again.
I think
Yeah.
I will. I mean,
Mhm.
Divine can either join me since he's in the ministry. I'm in office. He can join me,
Yeah,
and the two
yeah.
of us
I think it
share
will be
this.
okay like that. The both of you.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
he can join you. We can just talk to the both of you together. Okay. S- So, folks, if you're just joining us, this is a conversation specifically about kids in Liberia. We're talking about kids in Liberia, about those out of school kids that are in the street, what the government is doing, and what we as community members are also doing to make sure that we get the school going kids who are selling in the street to get them off the street and see them back in school. So, this program is
Yeah.
made.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So this program is merely intended to create awareness. Is to create awareness about this issue and to call on stake that is actors within the sector to help provide the necessary direction for these kids. Yeah, welcome back. He's with you now. I'm sorry, we got you muted because we were hearing. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, Alice is going to join me. We both can, use my gadget from from the office. So, like Ellis was saying to you, under each of the thematic area, under the project, significant gain has been made. He stated out to you.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now, how many faces do we have regarding this program? Because the community you call, even if we are to go back to those communities today, we're still going to see kids selling in the streets. Basically, we are concerned about the maintenance. How do we maintain our stand not to see kids who were picked from the street back to the street? There where
So,
we were until Alex stopped. Yeah, Alex.
yeah. So, James, on that, I think it's purely policy, and I will speak onto that, and Alex is going to do the technical side. So,
Mhm.
like I intimated to you from the start of this entire interview, this is a multi-sectoral approach. Like you ask the question, we see kids coming back in the street after they are removed. We will keep engaging with family, with guardians and caretaker of the kids. We will do all we can. We will identify schools, get them in school. If that process failed and those people who we spend a whole lot of money on in terms of paying school fees, and getting their school kids and getting them back in school, we see them back in the street, is where the Ministry of Justice under the Liberian, that the Liberian National Police is under, will have to come in. At that point, then enforcement becomes the last resort. But I don't think we are at that stage yet. So as the process, unfold, we are monitoring all these situations. So, we can tell you once we get at that point where we will have to involve the Liberian National Police, then it means that all mechanism put into place to ensure that these kids are off the street is not working because we signed MOU with the parents. We gave them, little resources to sustain the children while they are in school. School fees are paid. So there can be no reason that, after doing all of those mentioned, we see the kids back in the street. At that level is where we have the Ministry of Justice involved.
Okay. Alex?
Yes, so thank you for having me. I'd like to just begin this conversation by indicating, though, that when the government took over and the minister and her team took over ministry agenda, that there were multiple documents that was met on the docket. And one of the document that took keen interest, the minister took keen interest in the team, was a roadmap that we met, a roadmap that was conducted in 2022. It's called the National Roadmap on Children Living in Street Situations. And that roadmap reveals something very startling. And in politician opinion or diction, they would say is that it's an old age problem, but I like to say it's an involving national crisis. And that document shows that UNICEF has supported the government, then that is the predecessor of the president, to come up with this situation because it was alarming and they want to know exactly what was the problem. So the document shows that first of all, that the data that is across this country that we are contending with, in involving national crisis that this government is inherited or have inherited, and is contending with, talk about 366,584 children that are in different street situations. And there is an S to it because the situations are unique and different. So some of it is caused by, and that document says that there are 7 factors responsible for why kids are in the streets in their numbers. And a couple of them, I've just mentioned 3. One of them says persistent non-support. And you can also understand that it is a societal problem right there. So how do we address it? And the minister was talking about it in terms of the policy aspect, but persistent non-support is one of the factors that cause children to be in the streets. Many of us, maybe we can relate to what we're talking about, persistent non-support. Second thing also that is mentioned, also it says that domestic trafficking in Monserrato County alone, there are many parents and brothers and sisters that go in the interior and just take children and say, I will send them to school. So domestic trafficking support, is one of the factors. And multidimensional poverty. As a country, we are still grappling with that. So just from 3 of the 7 reasons why kids are in the streets. And the data also shows that besides this number, it says that out of school children in Liberia, it says 126,702 children that are out of school across Liberia that are out of school, besides the general data I just mentioned. And it also says that 25,406 children who are living with their parents in the streets. So it's a whole evolving national crisis we are grappling with. To just say here right now from the minister and minister indicated that we've been successful in 6 months as a government, to say that we've been able to remove 5,000, you can just know it's a drop in the bucket. And of course, you will see like we have not touched it. You will think that it's alarming. But have we done something? Yes, as a government, we've done something. Are we proud of what we've done? Yes, we're proud of what we can. We do better? Of course, we're taking steps to doing it better. So currently, as we speak, we have of the 5,000 people we reached, children that we removed, we reunify. I indicated to you that the project is on 4 pillars. Pillar
Okay.
one, it is family tracing and reunification. That means that our social worker goes in the field, goes in the streets. They encounter a child that is selling in the streets. We follow them through, take them to wherever garden or whatever home they are located, and we make sure that we understand what is the situation in our home and how can we intervene so that our child do not come back in the streets, and how can we empower that home. So first of all, family tracing is one. Second of all, we have what we call the economic empowerment component. We are aware that the project says that multidimensional poverty, it is number one reason why kids are in the streets. So if we have to be serious as a government, we must make sure that the root cause is addressed. And that's why the minister told you that the home, the children that we see and the home they belong to, we have a responsibility as a serious minded government to make sure that that home, it is first of all trained, second of all empowered. So we're not just taking money and just giving it to them. No, we have to put them through what we call VLSA, Village Saving Loan. We put them together, we train them, and then we put them, give them some money, and we monitor the process. And then after
So,
that, we have something called the TVEC component, where we're not just intend to give money, but we want to make sure we give you the skill so you don't come back again over and over. So we have the TV component. So these are just some of the layouts, and to tell you that the first phase of the pilot phase, first half of the pilot phase, we'll be able to enroll of the 5,000 plus that he mentioned. We'll be able to enroll 1,405 children that are in school across 45 public and private school across Montserrat County.
So,
okay,
so, so just to, I
yeah,
mean,
Alex. Uh-huh.
yeah, James. So, so it would be better, the progress being made under each of the thematic area.
Yeah, we
I
will
mean,
get to the
we have like
thematic. Yeah,
exactly.
we will get there, but as per the document or the research that was done during the last administration, that placed about 100 plus thousand kids, and we are currently at 5,000 plus, and we are now going to 2 years. That's it means that we have a lot to do. So, Alex, is uh, are you currently just a Monrovia based organization, meaning you and the government, you guys are just stationed currently in Monrovia, or besides Monrovia, what are some of the counties that are at risk when it comes to out of school kids that are selling in the street that you think we need to target as a nation currently to curtail?
The prevalent county aspect, what the data shows,
Mhm.
Montserrat County stands number one.
Okay.
155,000 plus within Montserrat County of the 366,584 data we're talking about. The
Mhm.
second county that shows it is Bon County. The third is Nimba. The fourth is Grand Bassa. These are the five counties that stands very tall when it comes to the issue of street children across the country. And just to mention as to whether you mentioned to be asked a question whether we're in Montserrat County, of course.
Mm.
Matter of fact, the way we're structuring this street children project, no one has done it before in Liberia. There has to be a baseline. And to do a baseline, you have to do a pilot of it. And as a government, will not want to be a political institution and say, yo, let's grab the children from the streets, put it in a vehicle, and take them to one place, and end of the day, they come right back, and the journalists begin to ask all of the questions, but where took the people for in the first place? So we say, you know what? We'll do a baseline. So let's do a 6 month of this thing. Let's do a part of it. Let's try and see what are the issue. Are we identifying challenges? Yes, we've identified some of the challenges. And just to go further as we go ahead, we'll also indicate to you that the second half of the part of it that is coming up, there's some adjustment we've done because of the fact that we identify, we draw a baseline, we found challenges, we know exactly what the problem is, and we're now attempting to address it in a more organized way.
But
Okay,
let me just
Minister, you wanted to talk. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Let me just buttress him a bit in terms of what we intend to do. This is not just a Morovia-based project. No, subsequently, as we see how the rollout, the pilot phase that is targeted in Morovia is going to succeed. Ultimately, we're going to roll this out throughout the length and breadth of the country. But like he rightly stated, there are baseline numbers that indicate, where these situations are prevalent. Maserado happens to be, the nation's capital, and where most of the numbers, I mean, you see most of the children are in the street. So it just makes, common sense that we initiate that this project in Morovia. And the numbers here look so small, but this is just the first phase, and the mechanism lay, down, and how he and his team are executing. If we remain on this path, we can make significant, progress. So I just thought to, make that point too as
Yeah.
well. So it's not
Okay,
only
Lauren.
Morovia, but we'll be going out in the Leeward counties.
So the project is a 5 years. So the design support a child save the future is a 5 years project, and we're done first 6 months of it. We're doing additional 6 months, which will be a 1 year. And right after that, by next year, the plan is that we will rolling out into additional 3 counties. Nimba is number one, Bone County is number two, and Grand Bassa is number three. So by next year, when we're talking about the Street Children Project, we'll be rolling out into additional 3 counties to include also the Monserrato out to be 4 counties.
Okay, Lauren.
Yeah, should we expect this epidemic, because that's how I see it, to be eradicated, or if not completely, at least minimized in the next 5 years?
So,
Alex,
so
if the government is working with you.
Solomina, this is a societal issue. Everywhere across the world, this situation is same. If you travel to China, to America, to India, these situations occur. What any government will do is to see how to mitigate or reduce this issue about, children in street situation. You will not 100% get rid of, all of the children in the street. But as a government, a responsible government, we have the obligation to ensure that the proliferation of children in the street is minimized gradually, as we engage through the project, and those on the project, we are going to reduce, the number of children in street situation. Is now 100% to eradicate this situation, because this is a societal problem.
And just to chip into it, to also mention that the media has got a very critical role in this process. As a matter of fact, we want under the Street Children Project, we have something called social behavior change, SBG, and the media stands very tall. We are saying that it is an evolving national crisis, and for that to be eradicated means that people need to be aware the danger that it poses even to the child, the danger it poses to the country. Eh? Even to you, do you also know that with all the investors and things we're looking for as a country, just by having proliferation of children all in the street does not look well. So it's a whole country's problem. It's not even a government approach, but it's a whole a country approach. But yes, as to whether we expect that in 5 years It will be eradicated. I don't want to use that word eradicated. It will be minimized at a greater extent, considering that government is giving us subsidies, partners getting involved. We're making sure we're taking children. The success story is being told. The awareness, massive awareness, is ongoing. We're holding parents accountable to knowing as much as we're giving you support, we don't expect a child on the street. If they gets back on the street, is it has consequences. These are things that will be very clear. I think with this kind of messaging, as well as we putting children in school, the success story has been told. Caregivers are also telling the success story. I think with that methodology, it will reduce it at a drastic level.
Okay, let's now talk about the project. I'm told you're done with phase one. How are we going to see phase two, phase three, and so on being implemented uh, in Maserati County? Because currently, Maserati is considered as the number one at risk county. And again, like I said, some of these children, if we don't pick them from the street and send them back to school, at the end of the day, they end up becoming quote unquote the Zogos in town. We see them smoking and criminal activities will start to increase when some of these children who are 16 today, who are 13, 14, 4, 5, 6 years from now, they're going to be around 18, 19, 20, and so on. If they are not educated, peer pressure will come in, and when peer pressure comes in, what happened there? They become some of them become criminals. They become criminals in the society, and then we begin to blame them that they are criminals. But we feel them when they needed us yesterday. So what are the implementation plans now as per the program in Maserati to make it a success even before moving to the other counties?
James, you talk about success, and I
No, I'm
think it
talking
would
about,
be
I
good.
mean, the implementation before we even move to the next counties. At least if we implement the Maserati chapter in a positive way, there will be a success, and we can use that success story to move to the other counties that are at risk.
So I think the phase one, I mean, just from the data available that I want us, to run through
Yeah,
with
let's run
to
through
how
that data
to
available.
how we've implemented and the successes, that is aligned to the phase one, and we can now talk about, implementation of the phase two. So I would just allow, I mean, Elish to run through, what we have achieved as success under the phase one of the project.
Okay.
So quickly, like I mentioned to you, we have the project into I think 4 pillars I mentioned to you, and we're working with partners. Um, Currently, as I speak, we have just within West Point, that will identify 1,000 households in West Point, and the support that is being given in that area is given by on one of our partner called Give Directly. Give Directly is providing $500 to every household that identify in that place. The Ministry of Gender went into the mapping, the demarcation, got the data provided to Give Directly. Give Directly verify the numbers, went in there and did their own due diligence. And today, as I speak to you, of the 1,000 numbers that we submitted to them, 580 has been processed, verified, claimed. 161 has received $500. In the coming weeks, the remaining of the 580 will receive their $500 while they process the remaining numbers.
The
And the
money
reason
is
why
intended to do what?
is to do two things, is to do small business. $350 out of that money goes to small business. And all of those caregivers have signed what we call contract with the ministry. We train them. We put them into what we call village saving loan VLSA. We're monitoring, making sure that this money is not just used, but they're able to do some savings so that the money is able to, generate so that they are able to sustain their family. So as we speak, 161 has been processed, paid $500 in West Point. In the coming weeks, like I mentioned, The remaining numbers to complete the would also be their cash will be sent directly to their mobile money from our partner Give directly.
So James,
That's
let me just take back a little. So the whole internet is for sustainability, right? You're
Yeah.
not just giving parents or guardians or caretaker, money. You provide training for them, how they invest that money. So at the end of the day, there is the issue called sustainability. You're not just giving them money and turn your back. No, the ministry through its partners will ensure that those people are trained. Financial management, or program is open for them, or microfinance or training will be given to them, and that little resources tell them how they're going to invest into maybe small businesses that will sustain they and their family over time. And Divine and his team will do a periodic check to make sure that whatsoever that business or that amount of money was invested in is doing fine, and there is a return on investment that will ultimately end up into sustaining they and the family. So it's good to, also stress that point.
so the caregivers that receive the money, we have what we call social workers here from the Ministry of Gender that are assigned to these caregivers to monitor and supervise what they do there. So, like you mentioned, that the money that has been sent by or to our partner, caregiver are assigned to also monitor as well. But to also mention, besides what has happened in West Point, we have another partner called SOS that we're working with, and SOS currently has enrolled about 178 of our beneficiaries into what we call family strengthening program. The family strengthening program consists of the fact that they will send those children to school, they will give small cash going to the parents, they will make sure that there is a psychosocial counseling regularly is done. So they are going through the SOS family strengthening program. 178 of them are going into it for 5 years. SOS will be responsible to provide school fees for the children, provide small business for the parents of those children, and to provide psychosocial counseling for the next 5 years. So we have 178 are currently into the SOS family strengthening program. Besides that, we have another partner called the Street Child Liberia. Street Child Liberia, matter of fact, has currently empowered as if my Street Child did two things. One, they enrolled 702 of the total number of the 1,104 into schools across Mosarakan. They enrolled 702. They were responsible to pay their fees, provide book bags, provide uniform for them. And also they provided cash grant to 234 of them. So as we speak to you, 234 are currently into business, small scale business as well. That is provided by Street Child Liberia. So when you put all the numbers together and tell us how much impact we've done so far, that's what the minister mentioned to you, that we've reached, we reunite and we empowered about around 5,000 children we've reached and empowered, and also the parents that we also sending to empower specifically. They have of the 7,000 we say we're going to do. I mean, of the 5,000 so we're going to do is about around 2,005 will be able to empower as well from the caregivers. Microphone muted.
James, you are
You
muted.
muted.
Phase two. When are we expected to see phase two starting up?
Okay, so phase two modified is already in progress. The twist around, like I mentioned to you, that we're having we want to use this pilot phase to as a baseline. One of the things we observed was that the ministry through the seniors management have decided that since we are a policy institution, there was a need to do two things. One was to first of its kind. There was a professional group here that worked with the Ministry of Gender called the CPN, the Child Protection Network. These are professional civil society organizations that are doing the exact same job and have the expertise. So the minister, in the wisdom of the senior management, believe that we have to leverage the whole issue of family tracing, reunification, documentation. We should leverage that to them. So as we speak, we've done a vetting process. The CPN, they're in numbers, but they've applied. Four of the CPN that constitute at least about 20 members in the structure has been vetted, have been identified. The vetting report is up, and the announcement of the four institutions will be made tomorrow on the ministry website, on the social media page, congratulating the four organizations. And those four organizations are the ones that will be responsible by Monday. Next week, Monday, we have about 80 from the four institutions. I mean, each institution got 20 staff that will be in the Ministry of Gender in their jackets, and will be dispatched across Montserrat County. So as you see, beginning next week, Monday, you will see social worker all in the between the cars in the communities that are CPM members that are doing the recruitment and family tracing. So by next week, Monday, effectively, you have the removal to begin across the 15 county, across Montserrat County.
Okay, Master. Okay, Minister, before we go, because we are nearing the time, Minister, what is the government's budget to target this program? We have listened to donors' contributions, but what is the government's budget now?
So I mean, it is a fact that government is faced with the issue of a constraint with resources, but from the first appropriation made in the budget, there was 500,000 placed in the budget, though we know it's little, but I mean, it was the initial, amount placed in the budget. So that has been what government has placed into the budget for the street child project. 500,000 was being appropriated under the Ministry of Gender for this project. So the first phase was 300,000, and the second phase, the budgetary appropriation was, it's 500,000. So the current budget carries 500,000 as the budgetary appropriation to this project.
Okay. All right. So let's take at least 2 or 3 calls, let the audience have a say, and then we will come back and try to zero in. Laurie, can we get at least 3 calls, and then we will call it a day? Yeah. So if you just joining us, we're talking about out-of-school kids who are in the street selling, what the government is doing, and the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Gender, has been here explaining their target plan for these children. We have the Deputy Minister for Administration, Minister Frederick S. Cooper, and the lead coordinator for the program is Mr. Alex Divan Sr. They both are here telling us more about what the government is doing. I guess you've been listening, Laura.
077771075 or 05551101075. Call us and make your own contribution. We already have a caller on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to your studio guys. This is my Joko calling from Palmer County.
Make your contribution.
Yeah. Thank you. I listened to the video guys talking about the giving 500 to hustle in West Point to get direct. That information you give me over there, where you're asked to, they don't get nothing to say. They should really last on the test. The money get direct given. If we doing the former routine, I think money came. Now they're coming back again to the same. Poor people to get that money to do that business. Enough for on the street are selling. And I'm going to school. So they will not lie to us. Thank you.
At least you confirm that they're giving the money to the people. Yeah, Lauren.
For 077771075, 05551101075. Call us and be on the show again. 05551101075 or 077771075. In case you want to make your own contribution. The topic under discussion is concerning out of school kids. Let's take you. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the show. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Arthur Tamasha Sula calling from the people room.
What is
I love to thank hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I love to thank your guest this afternoon for topic on the discussion. You see, Lauren, the topic is actually essential. People go out there in the interior, bring people children in the city and just enslave them. You see it? So at least such initiative taken by the team is actually good, and media practitioners is trying now to share this message across. So, way of doing that, hello,
Go ahead, you're
yeah,
live. Hmm.
I'm a presenter of a show, the Media for Action in Liberia. So I won't mind having any of the guys there as a guest this coming Saturday on Blaze FM. Yeah,
So
the
you
show is
came on
every
the show to
Saturday.
advertise
At
the
least to
show.
be able to carry this message across.
Okay. We need more
Yeah.
awareness. Thank you. All right. Should we take one or two more?
Yeah, let's get one. Let's get one.
077771075 055510105. The awareness should be created. If you are there, we are here. Call us and be a part of this discussion. Make your own contribution. 077771075. We are live on Spoon 107.5. We are live on Fabric. We are live on all of our social media platforms. And so call us and make sure you make your own contribution. So many thanks to those that are viewing as well and you listening. Again, 077771075 or 055510105. James, you can conclude while we are with the last
Okay,
caller.
so let's go back to the minister. Minister, do we have any policy about that is policy to address this issue? That if Jim goes to Lofa County and bring people, children, or bring a child from Lofa, and Jim sent this child in the street to
Child
sell,
protection.
do we have any punishment for James if James is arrested or identified?
So there is a policy already called the Child Protection Law that is already on the book that speaks to the fine and the punishment. But again, James, most of the cases that we see in the street, you know, family people go up interior, get a brother or sister child, bring the child to Morovia, and ultimately that child turns into, a street setter that will earn daily bread for the family. This is a difficult, I mean, it is actually a difficult situation. And I mean, all we have to tell our people is that we have to stop this and with hurting the country, with hurting the future generation, because those very people that we come on to replace or to take over from us, it is that future that we are embellishing here. But to answer your question, there is a law. There is a law on the books that speaks to that and that serves as a deterrent.
Okay. So we are about to go. Alex,
Yes.
before we leave you, what is that information you wanted to give us, but we did not ask you regarding this program, and just uh, do your closing as well?
Okay, I just like to re-emphasize that any responsible government that will come and see the future languishing and do nothing about it. It's just undermine your focus as the government. And just by this government taking over and seeing that the minister and her team took keen interest in solving an evolving national crisis, is something that I think all of us as Liberians should embrace and should not politicize it. Should be able to say, I can do something about it. I can only become a positive agent in my community when I see people domestically traffic a child. I can alert the ministry agenda. If I see a child on the street, I can also, do something about it. So I think I want us to look at us Liberians like that, because looking at the number 366,000 is huge. And you were talking about also 126,000 out of school. That's the crisis we have to deal with. What are we doing about it? The ministry have taken steps. We've achieved about 1,000 plus currently in school. We have the data to show you. We can provide the data to you. You can call directly the principals and talk to them directly. You can even have talk to the giver themselves, and even visit the schools across most America. Matter of fact, the president has asked the minister of general last time for us to provide the database of the schools that the children are in, of the principal. And I was like, really? How
Yeah,
can we
because
have
it's also good to call them and find out.
I agree, and we have the data. We provide for you. I will give it to the minister. He will give it to you, so you verify these things. So it
Yeah.
does not look like we are faking, or it's a political scam. No, it's not. It's real. And we have success to right now. We have about 160 of our caregiver mothers, and the guy who come from West Point, he could also verify. We have 160 of our mothers from West Point and across Montserrat County that are currently in Crest Embassy School getting technical and vocational education. They are taking discipline that is offered. The government is taking charge to paying those fees. Nobody's paying a dime,
Okay.
to making sure the mothers are educated and they're able to support their home. You know,
Children.
with next week, like I mentioned, I like to emphasize again. But next week we have additional mothers in Westman receiving additional that funding that is provided that he alluded to. The funding is from the government Liberia and Give Direct is the channel that money is sent through, but it comes from the government Liberia through Give Direct to make sure that the families are empowered at the household level, so that no child from that place come back on the street and sell. We're committed to that. We'll make sure that at the end of the day, this country, you can walk through the streets, you can be proud that kids are in school, that kids are home, and are not in between the cars, engineering their lives.
Okay, thank you. So, Minister, you're closing, and to also touch what you wanted to talk about that we didn't ask you.
So, James, firstly, let me say thank you for the opportunity that you have to reach out. I mean, you are doing all of this for sake of the country and to also tell the public the kind of work that the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection is involved with under the leadership of Honorable Gbemi, Horace Cody, and the team here. We appreciate that, and our doors are open. Anytime, you can call on us. And the data, like Alex said, is available over the short period of time. The successes of this street child project is enormous, and we are committed to it. And the president is committed to ensuring that children in street situations leave the street, and we are asking our parents, our mothers, our fathers out there to join us to ensure that the future of the country is safe. So again, thank you for the opportunity. And I mean, our doors are open here at the ministry. We can be called on anytime to provide information relative to the progress we're making and the intervention the ministry is making through the leadership of Gbemi Horace Colley. So
All
thank you,
right.
James.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister Cooper and Mr. Alex Divan. Thank you so much. We hope to talk to you again.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Lauren, thank you so much. You did extremely well. And all I have to say is thank you. Liberia is also appreciating you for forming part of this. It was hectic, but yes, we went through it.
Yep.
Thank you so much. And
Uh,
many thanks to everyone for following, and also to our CEO, Ms. Titi Cannon, for giving us this platform to do this project. Like I said, this is a university project, but I decided to create awareness on out of school kids in Liberia that are selling in the street. I guess you never knew some of the information that we just got. Like we listened to over 100,000 children across Liberia are out of school. I never knew that. At least they came on, they gave us some information, and this information will be useful for all of us, and we can now use them to pressure government. 500,000 is just a drop in the bucket. We can now pressure the government to do more and make sure we get these kids from the street. Yes, Laurie, thank you so much.
yeah, James, have a wonderful day. Thank you too for this project. All right, so it was very important, and we are glad that it's being discussed. Awareness is being created. This is Mama Liberia, and this goes first because whatever affects this country affects us. Until you hear from James again on another project, like he said, he's going to continue to do this. Have a wonderful day and keep following Phone Network on all of our platforms, be it on social media and even on the radio, Phone 107.5 and of course, Fabric 101.1.